Alright, well, we're waiting for... While we're waiting for him, I'm going to go ahead and do the announcements. The announcements are, this is going to be, well, this is Door of Eternity. Welcome to Door of Eternity. This is our last session of Door of Eternity, and depending on what, how much they want to do, we might do the campaign wrap-up with it, or we might do a campaign wrap-up session at the regularly scheduled interval where we would have the next session of this game. That said, other schedule-based announcements are that Kingdom of Darkness on the 22nd. Unfortunately, we had to cancel Baptized in Blood tonight, which means there's no Baptized in Blood until May. Saturday games continue to be the bane of my existence because people can't seem to make them. Understandable, but please be flexible if that's the case, and allow me to schedule weekday games. Okay. That said, we also have some character introduction sessions coming up. On the 21st, 23rd, 8th, and 22nd, Song of the Crown characters will be introduced in short 1 to 2 hour sessions. I've decided I will stream those. They're going to be at random-ass times, so if you don't make it, don't worry about it. Mainly, they're there to, for you to catch up on YouTube. They're going to be fairly short, but they're there to introduce characters to the world and the campaign, so that you can kind of, as a player, can get into the character, and so that whatever audience we do have, what small audience we do have, can kind of get a little bit of insight into the character as well. So there's that. We will be having our session 0 for From Depths Unkind in 3 days. 3 days. So that's awesome. I didn't post any links tonight because I wasn't sure if my players were actually showing up, because they didn't start showing up until like 5 minutes before the game started. There. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and post those now. You were on time. They can't hear you right now, though. So, my players are squawking in my ear about, hey, wait a minute. Anyway, glad that didn't get caught either. Now that that's all done, here we are. Let's do introductions first. Go ahead and do a hot potato version of it, and I'm going to start with Kiva, because she was here first.
I'm Kiva, otherwise playing as Morgan, who is a Galganite Shooting Stars. I am basically an unofficial cavalry unit for my wizard lizard bud. And we're gonna, blast some faces apart. It'll be fun. Passing it on to Tao, because he said something after me.
Go back to Livesey.
No, it's a sticky bomb. Deal with it.
Okay. I am Tao. I play Balazar. I am just a cool guy that likes simple things, like swords and chocolate pudding. Throws it to Brian.
I am Brian. I play the aforementioned wizard or lizard, depending on which way you want to go. I also he is the wizard of the werewolf cavalry, and he's also my favorite character ever. Let's go, Lee.
You didn't say his name.
I play Joriel, who is ready to destroy the world. That's what we landed on, right?
No, you got told you're not allowed to do that. Yeah.
Well, there was a lot of steps.
I'll toss it to Lipsy.
Right, I'm Lucy. I play our drow paladin. I'm neither a lizard nor a wizard. Matter of fact, I'm more of a cooler version of Balthazar, so just keep that in mind.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Maybe
I'm
more
gonna
like a
throw this
gizzard.
to our lucky last, Rotak.
Hi, I'm Chef, resident librarian of Cruin, but outside of the DM, I play Rotak, McQueen, Speed Demon, and Lizard Rogue, who just wants to be a good boy and figure out how to exist in society because he's never even heard of it before. It's great. No more couch fires. All right, let's do this.
Is that everybody? That's everybody. Okay, great. Wonderful. We did it. Okay, so last we left off, the crux of the problem had been discovered and discussed. The party had been discussing with the Forgotten and the Van Cressa that quintessential problem of Tal and his inevitable death, which causes an inevitable apocalypse or two. You know, just a couple of them. The party settled upon, after much consideration and discussion, putting that boy in a box and shoving him into space. Just into box, into space. Those are the broad strokes. If you want more details, you should probably watch the session. But that being said, that's essentially what the party did. There were a couple of side conversations that were fairly important and interesting. So this is why I shouldn't do recaps. So anyway.
Last session, we chose the Naruto method. Moving on.
Yeah. Alright. Let me just go ahead and open this. Okay. We had discussed... I think we're on the third floor. Yes, we're on the third floor. We had discussed any tasks that you all wanted to finish, or any conversations you want to have, role play that you wanted to do before leaving the castle, as that was now something you could do, and ending your campaign. It was one of those things where it ends now when you, you know, if you don't have anything to do, we would be wrapping it up. And then we would do our campaign wrap up, which is questions and answers. So, anyone at all.
Well, I still wanted to find the good old steward of the castle because Belkarog asked us to, but I think we can do that narratively. Then we gotta just leave.
Right. Any other...
Well, where's that snipper snapper?
What's Snipper Snapper? The caretaker of the castle? Or Balazar?
Yeah, he should be here.
Balazar's right here. And Belkarog is right here. He's the big spider. He's the one who gave them this quest. All my homies like Belkarog.
It takes a while to acclimate.
That seems like a Corinthian skill issue.
Only Corinthians are afraid of spiders. It's canon now.
Oh no.
No, they're just semi-xenophobic.
Oh my, that jumped a little bit.
Anyway.
Nobody? Okay. We'll do the narrative thing that you wanted to do there, Rotak. You would be searching the rest of the castle that's available to you for the purposes of accomplishing this goal. I'm going to need you to succeed on several investigation checks to do this.
Gotta find Remy.
Ooh, not a great start.
No, that's a really bad start.
That's a bad start. It's a really bad start. This counts as a delay.
Now, if he's in a secret area, by chance, do
Yeah.
I still get Dungeon Delver to give me advantage on this?
You would, but you don't. So
Can I hook up with Big Lizard and help him search?
sure, yeah. As you are volunteering that information, I will forgive this natural one because, you know, why not? I am capricious and the winds of change. So go ahead and re-roll your investigation check. Try not to roll a 1 this time. Much better.
Provide guidance.
Now throw a d4 on that. Okay. Through your investigation, you have discovered that Remy lived in the same period as Illyria and the general denizens of the castle. He was a young man, and he was from here locally. He was from this region. This castle would have been his liege lord's castle, but they were dead already, and it had fallen into ruin. Next skill check, please.
Should I just assume I'm getting guidance on these and add the D4?
Yes.
And then do I get an advantage because I'm being assisted by Little Lizard?
Yes.
Love this.
Great. 24. You find that Remy had been through his time under Illyria's, as Illyria's like chief vassal and really major domo, that he was very good at his job, and he wound up doing a lot of the main work, which seems to be typical for a man of this position. He was very stressed out a lot of the time, wondering where the hell the Countess was most of the time, and why he had been left here to make a lot of decisions for her that he didn't feel like he was in any position to make. After a time, he noticed that she had more or less disappeared, and wasn't sure what to do because her kids were here too, and so was her lover. So he kind of felt in his journals that we found that she had abandoned them because he didn't receive any explanation as to why. Third check, please. Okay. After the children had grown up and they had started, their own careers, and the title of the house had fallen to Grayson, who was her adopted son, the Countess's adopted son. She returned for a longer period of time. Her returns were intermittent. They would be for a couple of years, and then she would disappear for a while again. After all of that had been handed over, he sort of took a step back and retired, and on his deathbed, he asked the Countess to take him with her wherever she went next, as she had returned because he was dying. He was an old man, and he didn't want her to go off on an adventure without him this time. In the journal, it kind of ends there, but there are signs that she did take him with her.
All right.
Okay. Was that everything then, everyone?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I just go relay this to Belkorog.
Great. You relay this to Belkorog then? Do you leave any of it out?
I don't think Rotek knows enough about society to know what to filter. So no, he just kind of gives the synopsis to Belkorog, since Belkorog should have asked him to go find Remy.
Society.
Okay, so Belkrog says thank you for finding out what happened to Remy. I had felt like I had known him. I do not know why. I didn't know the end of his story. I do recall that the Countess had told me much about him and of the children. This puts my mind at ease at the least bit, as when I die, I can look forward to going with her as well.
You mean if you die, you won't be here with the other ghosts like us?
I am unsure. I am a mere beast. I do not know if there will be a life for me afterwards.
Well, there was one for me. Maybe there will be one for you.
Perhaps.
All right, that's really all I got.
Okay. Alright, gang. I think that's everything then, yeah? Positives?
Yeah, now we just gotta walk out the front door.
Okay. Alright, cool. Well, I don't think we need to do like a map loading montage of me moving you guys down to the second floor and then down to the first floor and then out the front door, right? Do we need that? Do we feel we need that?
No, I think it's fine.
Okay, that's what I thought. Alright, cool.
Producers, do we need to pad? No.
No? Okay.
We're good.
Alright then. Cool. Okay, then let's move on to the second half of our show this evening. And that would be the campaign wrap-up. So for those of you who haven't done a campaign wrap-up before, this is the period where we sit here and we talk about the stuff that happened in the campaign. We talk about, we answer any questions that can be answered from the players or from the community about this campaign, and we do what we can to like get some closure and get some answers, and kind of just like look back and reminisce and enjoy what we've accomplished so far. So let's do some questions from the players first. And you guys can ask questions of me. You can ask questions of each other, just to kind of like figure stuff out. And then, we can take some questions from the audience if we have time. We have a couple people in chat right now. So.
More of a yes or no. Did you have an intended solution for Tal that you thought we might supply, or were you just kind of seeing, well, that's beyond yes or no, or were you just seeing if we had one that we could come up with?
So I think I had left a lot of clues about potential solutions for Tal. Now, mind you, the solution that you guys have come to has not been tested. But there is precedent for it in the world and has kind of occurred already in reverse fashion. The Greater Demon of Ahia. Can you guys not? God, dogs. You're just all jingle jangly right now. Where was I? Oh, yes. In the Heart of Rage, a Greater Demon of Ahil was released from inside of a book. And while a book is a good place to stuff a demon, if because there's plenty of them and they require someone to be literate, right? Which is in a world where a lot of people are illiterate, that's a very helpful lock and key. Not wanting to take that chance with Tal is probably a good idea. Probably doesn't occur to the Corinthians to do that simply because they would rather destroy him and take no chances that way. That would be their idea of taking no chances. But we, as players and people that exist at the meta level above the game, kind of understand that that's how things go from bad to worse, on a long-term basis. So, avoiding that is the hard part. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Let's have something more lighthearted
Mm-hmm.
to alternate. Azelov,
Yeah.
as the great DM
Yeah.
of this campaign,
Yeah.
Dar of Eternity,
Uh-huh.
when was the time where you thought, what was the interaction, in your opinion, that got the closest to a super high-powered NPC going, if they say one more thing, I'm going to cast Fireball on them?
Ooh. There were a couple of encounters with some of these NPCs throughout the campaign where like things could have gone a little badly. I think to answer the question from a comedy standpoint, definitely your
Best one.
yeah, definitely your interaction with Ramia was the most comedic, right? There was a potential for her to slap the teeth out of your head, just depending on the choices you made, but that didn't happen. As far as like the most potential for like violence and bad news, everyone's dead. Probably either Danica or Rahal, because you guys have had a lot of interactions with Danica, and you've had one interaction with Rahal, but she, you don't know a whole lot about her, but she can be a little volatile, and Danica is obviously very volatile. So,
I mean, to be fair, we did interact with an NPC that then attacked us. Granted, it was the angel, but I mean,
yeah, he doesn't count because he was always considered an enemy. So,
I know it's just funny that Jorl had a whole spiel of trying to debate physics with the angel, and it's like, all right, you know what? And the combat started.
You know.
It's a music on. I don't like the music on. I don't like that.
As one does, rage baiting an angel.
It's given me a great idea for a backup character in Song of the Crown.
A rage baited angel?
No, a celestial warlock.
Oh, yeah, that could be interesting.
Oh. Okay. Any more questions for me? Any questions for each other? Are we all noodling? Do you need like 5 minutes to noodle? Should I go look at the chat?
I'm eating a burger, and most of my questions would involve some sort of bet.
Okay.
So, up to you.
What was your favorite historical throwback to include in this campaign, whether we found it or not?
My favorite historical throwback gotta be some of the statuary you guys didn't really look at. One of them being like one of the ones that you recently walked by, and you guys are all kind of like shrug. It's an elf, and kept walking. And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense for this group to just be like, hey, it's an elf, and keep going.
Was it at the start?
No, it was.
No, it was like one of the last things we saw before we came here.
Yeah, it was on the second floor of this section of the castle, right before that trap hallway that Rotek got locked behind.
Yeah, she had an antlers or a crown, right?
Yeah, she had a crown with 12 points. So it's one of my little favorite bits that, like, further paying attention to might have been much more interesting because it's more of a historical throwback to stuff that hasn't been talked about or really done yet. Because there's a lot of stuff that's already happened that's been like kind of explored already. Like this campaign was partly my way of like rectifying the old lore with the new, and to kind of like bridge all of the and sew all of the stuff together and all of the prior prior happenings, the various loop, the very, I don't want to use the word loop because it's not a loop, but the various iterations and occurrences, right? Because the way it's best described is it's one continuous timeline that doesn't restart. It just kind of gets cobbled back together after being broken. But that being one of my more favorite objects that just kind of gets brushed over. There's other statues in the castle that are interesting. I prefer to have like artwork of like people or events be more prominent than just like, oh, it's a landscape. Those are nice, and they can be influential as well. But they provide like spatial context as opposed to like more character or historical context. So
All right, the immediate follow-up. Oh, go ahead, Jordan.
That brings up my question, which is, I don't know if you can answer it outright. Then, what is your thesis then about the nature of the soul and identity? Because souls exist, but they're not memory and they're not experience. And so, is it mere chance that figures? The argument that I would imply from this is that major historical figures are entirely products. The soul is irrelevant. Major historical figures are entirely products of their circumstance and situation, and there's no inherent aspect of a specific soul that makes them likely to do or be a certain thing. Like the princess is a different soul every time but she always does the same thing.
right. So the big things that she does, for example, are always the same, but the minor things about her, or character flaws or that sort of stuff, are always different because she's a different person each time. That's the example that Illyria gave, and that's kind of the example we're going to follow here. So, to kind of answer your question there, these things are more or less inseparable and are kind of, I guess, best put as one and the same, really. When your character dies, for example, and goes to the spectral realm, a person that is like them, that may have that mirrored piece, right, would, kind of get... let me back up. Morris is a much better example, because he kind of shows how it works. So Morris dies, right? First time die. Becomes a forgotten at some point somehow. Comes back to life. Goes through all this stuff. Real angry, real mad. Winds up, in the spectral realm, of course. Long enough that he would occur again, right? And a version of him does so, like we've talked about. When that one dies, he just dies, and he doesn't come over into the spectral realm. That's what happens there. But for those of them that are gone, then they would pass over. But you can't have two of the same person existing at the same time in the same place, right? It's impossible.
So, further iterated copies don't bear the soul of the original, but there is some intrinsic marker in them that stops them, that marks them as connected to the original?
Let's back up further. So your campaign started with you guys being reconstructed from fragments.
Mhm.
But you
Right.
each had been dead varying times for varying lengths. So to kind of put it together for you, that fragment, whatever's left, that tiny piece is like the core of it. If that core doesn't come with you when you get reborn, because it's still in the prior soul, then you're not real. That's why Illyria and Danica and Morris are like, it doesn't matter if our iterations die. We're still here. Right.
Right. And so essentially nobody that exists today is real because they've all their true kernels of their souls have all been transported to the spirit realm and consumed.
Right. The fragments are where they are.
So everyone's a meaningless husk.
That's a very
I feel like I am in the middle of like a political podcast of Cruent, like in character.
I was gonna say that's a very pessimistic way of looking at it, because the people that are getting born are new people. They're new souls.
They have their own souls.
Right.
There's just these sort of like spectral entrails that cling to them and inform their not their personality, but perhaps their destiny.
Well, not everyone's recreated, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like key figures. There's like certain players that have to exist to fill roles to make the story go away. You don't need peasant number 37 in village A to be recreated. They're just gonna happen.
Right.
But you need Princess Melissa Justier.
And so, is there a person or the gods are behind making sure that the important people exist the way they should?
Right, because they're the ones who reconstruct the world. That would follow, yes, logically.
Okay.
But everyone else is new. They have souls and lives and afterlives and all that.
So everyone important is actually a meaningless husk.
Well, yeah, that's capitalism.
Interesting.
That's funny, but
that got real.
Sorry, that's you.
That's funny. It's
a word for our sponsors.
You also have to look at it a little bit like there's something that the gods want out of this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, they wouldn't have a incentive to keep putting things back together after the game board gets flipped and the pieces strewn about, right? Mm-hmm. So there's a reason why they're doing that, right? Mm-hmm. Which is counter what Nahemoth is trying to accomplish, right?
Well, maybe they like the process.
Maybe.
Who can say?
Who can say?
It feels like a large-scale Sisyphus kind of situation going on.
Yeah, but who's pushing the rock?
Everyone that gets presented, everyone that gets back, and every soul that has like a little imprint that was like, you're gonna be a little bit like this. You're gonna be a little Balazar.
I'm gonna. It's just making a little clay guy out of clay. This one's gonna be named Balazar. He's gonna be funny and weird. I
like swords.
Yeah.
Alright, my follow-up question earlier is, who's the elf lady with the 12-pointed crown?
You'll find that out from Depths Unkind.
Oh, okay. So if we had figured it out, would we have been able to figure it out in game?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, but that one's a lot better to reveal from Depths Unkind now. It's one of those things that kind of gets bumped a little bit down the road, but that's all right. Don't worry about that too much.
Fair enough.
I think I heard Brian start a sentence.
Yeah, I've got a question. Now, I might have missed something because the Great Panjandrum has the attention span of a gnat.
Right.
Um, but what was the point of us repeatedly trying to get out of the castle? Like, I thought we were training to fight something and getting more powerful.
Right.
But yes, there was. This was the point. But like, Tao, unfortunately killed the angel the normal way, so the special way.
Hello.
Hi, how you doing? So, I would have loved the opportunity to allow Tao's character, like, hey, you want to kill it, want to throw, like, I wished I had more time to react more reactively, retroactively to, like, hey, I want to throw Tao my spear, like, Tao, you want to take my spear, and just sort of engage like that.
Oh, the spear, I thought it was with Livesey that got swallowed.
No, I mean, like, when you were doing the killing blow, I would take this big, glowy, this beautiful, like, draconic, like, icy spear that's literally glowing around, like, giving Morgan this beautiful light, like, moonlight glow that can instantly, well, not instantly, like, permanently kill, basically, things that don't have a concept of death. Like, they're just gone forever.
No, I get that. I just remember that of like looking at like Nizak getting swallowed and Nizak passing a spear to Balazar, so I thought it was with the Nizak.
I don't remember to be frank, what the order of events were of that. But Brian, your question was, what was the point of what we were doing? Because it seemed like you were being trained, right? So to kind of bring that back, it was part of Illyria's plan to get you guys through the castle to determine your worthiness, and then we'll use the castle as a series of tests to determine your worthiness and kind of train you up and get you a little powerful, and then to follow through with that, send you on your missions out in the world so that she could get a bunch of stuff done at the same time without needing to be in multiple places at the same time, right? That was the idea. That was her plan, was to kind of put more pieces on the board that could be reliable and trusted upon. Because before you guys were there, it was just the 6 people in that room. Just the 3 Van Cressa and the 3 Forgotten. Just them trying to fix this, right? So, by doing what we did here, the point was to get more pieces on the board. More or less double your number, right?
A lot more esoterically insignificant pieces that can slip under the radar.
Right, yeah. Yeah, Danica shows up on the board. Alarms, sirens, fighters get launched and troops come running out of bases. But, Nizak walks down the street. Oh, look at that drow. That's weird. I wonder if he's friendly. Oh, no, he's not friendly. Oh, no. Right? So, less of an immediate kind of freak out from the parties involved, and more of a, oh, that's a weird little funny lizard guy. That's weird. Look at him go. Meanwhile, the lizard guy's pulling big moves to save worlds, right? He slips a rat bone into a prison cell to be discovered at the most opportune moment, so that some prisoners can escape prison tower and maybe accomplish some things in a place where nothing would have been accomplished otherwise. That was the point.
Cool. So that leads me to another question.
Yeah.
Can the Great Panjandrum just since he's basically still dead, can he just spend eternity doing little ghost missions?
That's the idea. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I was gonna bring it up. It's like I thought that, like, with everyone just hanging out and doing the thing and with their mission, this is like a new entity formed into this world. It's just these esoteric people that are just like rewriting the plot a little bit. Like we're like we're a mix of intelligence agency and like script editors.
We're the GMF, the Ghost Mission Force.
Right.
We should have a group name like the Noble
Mhm.
Ghosts.
Oh no, you seem to have a group name according to this handy dandy side token that I have called the Noble Ghosts.
Business card?
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it's been in the utility section the entire time. Our group is called the Noble Ghosts.
yeah, it has been the whole time since you guys started. It's right below your dancing light in the utility folder.
Out of curiosity, did no one else see that?
I saw it.
I didn't.
So mixed yeses and nos on that.
Just the amount of fucking dots that just went across my screen, man. Huh?
Chat recommends Fire Team Spooky.
Agreed. We're changing it to that. Fire Team Spooky, let's go. I've made the decision for the group.
Okay.
Oh, do you see the sword fight? Yeah, do you see the sword fight?
I do see the
Wait,
sword
you-
fight happening on the screen.
First time ever I've made a decision for the group, and I'm proud of it. It'll be the first and last.
Poke and tell, poke, 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 poke,
Yeah.
poke, 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 poke.
Please
poke,
stop
poke,
drawing on my artwork. Why did I get?
Oh.
No.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! Why?
No, I don't think I
You
will.
can do
Going
that?
dark.
Hold on.
You
Freehand.
100% can do that.
No.
Aren't you glad that we only figured out that we could draw on your map now at the end of the campaign?
I trusted you guys.
You trusted.
And that was your first mistake.
Yeah,
Yep.
I trusted you, and I shouldn't have.
Yep. Yeah, that was your very
Is
first
that,
mistake.
is that a, like, okay, we probably give him boots, or do you give him shoes?
There we,
This is absolutely what you're supposed to do in a campaign wrap up.
we absolutely
Yep.
did it, guys. All right, we're gonna put this
So-
guy over here. I'm just gonna leave him there. Okay,
So I do have a question for you,
go ahead. Let's see.
GM, because I know fully aware of what this question, of what this answer is going to entail. But what was the one thing that we missed as characters that you really wanted us to discover?
Ugh.
Livesey, there's nothing, there's no answer here that will make anyone feel happy.
It'll make me feel better because it's
You
will-
it's
this
not
is what
happy
he's
today.
been selfish.
You will
Yeah,
not be able
because-
to sleep at night thinking about
No,
what
it's
could happen.
not for our sake, it's for his sake, because we clearly have missed stuff, and there was definitely something that he wanted us to discover as a
Don't make fun of
GM
us.
that we missed, and he
Don't
wants to
make fun
tell
of
us.
Okay. So. What the fuck? Oh, is that hit? Okay.
It is a bit, I do want to know.
All right.
Wow, it's Godzilla!
Let me open up my
It's Rotac!
It's the great band!
Where's the fireball? The fireball.
TJ just got
Where's the
a
fireball?
freaking folder full of stuff we missed.
I do.
Damn those
I do.
motherfuckers.
I do.
The bells are files.
So there's you remember the moon being on the moon?
Yeah!
Yes,
Like,
yeah,
What do you mean
dude.
the moon me on the moon?
Yeah. So there
Sorry.
the encounter on the moon, there were these three dark elves on the moon. There was like this building there, right? And there was inside the building.
That's where Isaac's girlfriend was.
Right, Isaac's girlfriend was there, and there was like a reliquary there, and you guys had a conversation with them, and they gave you a skull, right? You
They
guys,
gave us a Lyrio's jeweled skull or something, right?
right? Emerald skull, and then you guys collected her bones, and you gave them back to her.
Mhm.
You guys go ahead on the moon?
But what wasn't really leaned into too much was what was going on with that building, why it was there, aside from like holding her skull, and why those three dark elves were there aside from guarding that thing. What was going on with all that? And the gray moon, Titanicus, is the kind of it's called the Throne of Death, and it's part of the Dark Elves sort of understanding of their afterlife, is that that's where they go if they were, if they lived good lives and they were faithful, and that when they die. And then there was a lot of stuff about Dark Elves and their explorations in the library, right? I think, Lee, you came across something about them exploring the void, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So, one of the things that I kind of wanted you guys to piece together was that those 3 Dark Elves were living, they weren't ghosts. And that
there's Dark Elves on the moon presently.
And that there are Dark Elves on the moon, and there are also likely Dark Elves elsewhere, not on the moon.
And they've made it through the timeline.
That was one of the things that I was hoping you guys would, piece together.
Okay, I do want to bring this up because I brought this up to the DM beforehand for all those that are watching and those that aren't in the know. This is my first time playing D&D. Right? So, actual first time playing Dungeons and Dragons. I've played plenty of other tabletop RPGs. Now, unfortunately, it was not made aware to me that being a drow or a dark elf would be so important to the storyline. Right, because of situations like this, where it's someone who's more experienced with the culture of this race would probably have picked up on certain things and had these questions. I didn't have these questions. For those of you that have watched the entire campaign, my whole thing has been, I will run up and I will smack it, because I don't know anything else to do, because I'm not comfortable within the lore and things of that nature. So, there's probably more of stuff like this we've missed, because I was uncomfortable or didn't have the know-how.
But that's okay. We still had a great time.
You mostly just ran around with the Angel.
As someone who is somewhat comfortable with the lore, I think we did good.
Oh, I thought you were gonna just continue the roasting.
No,
Yeah.
no, I didn't. I honestly think Lindsay did pretty good playing a male drow in a female-dominated society who only bonked things because that's his whole damn job.
Yeah. Our boy wasn't elected to read.
He's just Nizak.
He was
That's
elected
fine.
to bonk shit, and bonk shit he did.
But no, we weren't given any, if I'm remembering the creation right, we weren't told what would be important or not. So, we did kind of just randomly choose characters. You happen to pick one whose race might be important to it, but, just because the race is important doesn't mean your character knows anything about what's going on in the bigger drow society. You might not have known there were drow on the moon. How would you have figured that out?
That's true.
Or you might not have believed the drow went to the moon.
That's true, too.
Yeah, would have had no... That's the whole thing. Because as a male, he was excluded from the drow space talks that were happening.
The moon group chat.
Yeah.
One of your buddies is like, hey, I heard they went to the moon the other day. And you're like, what
Can
the
we call Nizak?
fuck? No, they didn't. And you smack him.
No.
You really believe
Yeah.
they went to the moon?
The moon? Come on, man. We can't even pull the uranium out of the ground. What makes you think we're going to the fucking moon?
Your space
Look,
program? Yeah, good luck with that one. I've seen that video game.
Nizak
Do you
looking at
believe in the moon?
It's like Nizak looking at a telescope and seeing a cookout table on the moon, and then Balazar just invited, so he's just waving. Hello.
Jesus.
Yeah, he's just like, yeah, no, my sister got accepted to go to the moon. I'm like, the moon's not fucking real. What are you talking about, you
We live
idiot?
underground. Have you ever seen it?
Yeah, yeah, the moon's a conspiracy theory brought up by small male drow. All right, it's a conspiracy theory, man. Just stop.
It's not a real
I think
place.
the moon.
And lo and behold, there they were on the fucking moon.
I think the moon is just like pressed together drow bone ash
Okay.
instead of rocks.
Okay.
Yeah. And now,
That's
to lead up to my
40K
question.
shit.
how much
Oh.
of that document that you have, how much of like the really cool important stuff did we miss that you wrote down that were like they were gonna find?
Okay, so I like we've talked about, you and I, there was a certain margin of missing that I expected. It's not as big as it is. You guys,
What highlighter color did you use?
I didn't use one, but the it is a lot of this is through no fault of your own, guys. So don't beat yourselves up about it. But a lot of this,
I'm beating myself up. I want murder.
please,
I'm beating Isaac up.
please don't.
You wish.
A lot of the information that you guys missed was in the early half of the game.
I wasn't there. Not my fault.
Yeah, you weren't there, not your fault. And there was a lot of like rushed energy at the very beginning of the game that kind of changes the way you guys interact with the spaces. One of the things is that the castle was a character, right? And
What?
interacting with the castle and looking at the walls for the art, looking at the ceilings and the entireties of the spaces and the rooms and such was sort of... I was trying to like promote that very early on, and then that kind of fell away because of a couple of factors. One shall not be named, but the other one was that I thought I had kind of like trained you guys into doing that. So when I would give a room's description, I was expecting you guys to be like, okay, but what about any of the art on the walls? Is there art anywhere? Right? You guys had stopped asking that question and instead of just interacted WYSIWYG with stuff, which was a problem because I had included notes about like, oh, art on the ceiling, like, like on the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel, or like a variety of churches, right? That sort of stuff, or like on the walls, or for example, a great one is in the front end of the castle where you guys just were. All those stained glass windows. There was an opportunity for some of those to be like, story pieces. But a lot of it has to be like the right question gets asked about stuff, because I wanted to feel earned, and I wanted to feel like you were looking for that information. Now, what's important in the air, right? Because who knows what could be important later. But like from a storytelling perspective, like, I would say like a good third at least was missed. But them's kind of the breaks a little bit. Like I said, you guys got rushed through a lot of early spaces that weren't intended to be rushed through, and then like that early training of, hey, look at the walls, hey, look at the walls, hey, look at the the statues, really engage that stuff, look at the ceilings, check out the windows, that kind of stuff. Kind of that training you guys into engaging with the castle as a character kind of failed a little bit, and I was like, okay, now I got to bring in these NPCs that I wasn't going to bring into this campaign at all to kind of help you guys get back on track. So that's why Rahal came in when she did. That's like, I didn't have Danica show up at all until like the second half in my original plan, but she showed up in that one room pretty early because I noticed that this was starting to become a thing. I was trying to get you guys back on the path fairly early. So if you think back to when that was, that's kind of about how early it was that I noticed you guys were kind of slipping off that path. So, good question though.
I got another one.
Yeah.
So I operated through the whole thing.
Yeah.
But on the point of view that if we wanted to know something, if we wanted to figure something out, we had to do it. But I had just been freaking rolling my 20 intelligence this whole time to figure stuff out.
Yeah, that is a good question, right? Because there's a couple of different schools there of thought when it comes to like DMing and GMing, of like how you deal with that kind of thing. Because I can hear it now. Some DMs would have been like, you absolutely should have just let them all just roll intelligence checks to figure out all of the puzzles from the get-go, because it's not fun to sit there and strain your brain for 30 minutes to figure out the puzzle, right? But at the same time, figuring out the puzzle feels super earned when you figure out the puzzle, even if it was just like a thing that the player suggested that wasn't on your list of solutions, right? So there's, no matter which way you go with that, it feels like robbery, because if you just roll a d20 and you get super high on the roll, okay, your stats did all the work for you, which that might feel nice, but if that is the way you play the game through the whole game, then at some point it's going to creep up on you that, did I really earn it? Because my character sheet's numbers did that, but this was an intellectual exercise too, right? Because puzzles are intellectual exercises. Or, on the other hand, if you struggled through the puzzles without relying on your stats to get you the answers right away, that can feel bad too, because you feel like you're banging your head up against the wall and getting nowhere, right? So I was of the opinion through like the beginning of the game that if you miss it, you miss it, because the DCs were pretty low at the very start, and the DCs didn't really climb up too high near the end. I think the highest DCs I had were like 20 for some stuff in the last half of the game, which is very doable for characters that are like level 5. So I kind of stopped being like, you miss it, and more along the lines of, all right, we're going to kind of like do a little bit of a graduated sort of success kind of thing with some of this information. So I had a lot of puzzles that were like, if it's like -5 from the threshold, this is what you learn. If it's negative, if it's on the money, this is what you learn. If it's 5 over, this is what you learn. And if it's 10 over, a nat 20, this is what you learn. So a lot of my puzzles, a lot of my notes were like that. Where it was just this graduated system of information. So I tried to make it so that you didn't always walk away with nothing, but I also didn't want to just give it to you if you didn't engage with the puzzle to start with. Does that make sense, Brian?
Yeah, I actually think that's a really good way to do it. I mean, if you're just calling for rolls, it sucks to get boned by a terrible roll.
Right.
Whereas with that, at least, you've got a certain amount of, well, you might not get through it, but you get some clues as to how to get through it.
Right. Yeah, because a lot of the time when you're designing puzzles, especially like word-based ones or that sort of thing, like a writ rhyme or like a narrative sort of puzzle, like how many watermelons does that sort of stuff. It can be a little jarring to not see the actual meat of the puzzle in front of you, depending on like the way your brain works and how you learn information. So there's got to be like an amount of leeway, right? Where the role has to be able to help you solve this, and at the same time, you have to be quick enough on your feet to be able to make some connections and think through some stuff. And then there's the school of DM thought out there, and I see this all the time too, like scrolling through various subreddits and forums and such, of just like, your players are idiots, right? Treat them like idiots and give them information when they roll on it. Like, that also doesn't feel right too, because
I wouldn't say it's right, but I would say what it's getting at is, even just outside of D&D, the idea that like whoever you cannot imagine when you are writing a puzzle, whether it's a crossword or a Sudoku grid or anything, you cannot imagine what it feels like to not know the solution, because you are creating the puzzle with the solution.
Yeah.
And so there has to be an amount of like compensation for whatever you think is obvious. Do not assume it's obvious.
Yeah, and that's part of the puzzle maker's dilemma, And I tried to like work around that by doing the graduated roles kind of thing, where like we start in the basement, and this is the information you get by rolling in the basement, and then which a lot of the time it's just like this is mysterious. You feel like there's something off about it, or if you're even farther in the basement, this thing seems normal, right? The dichotomy of the natural 20 and the natural 1 both being this thing seems normal, right? So. But I'm glad. I hope that answered your question, Brian. Because I do ramble.
Yeah, no, that actually did.
Okay, good. Cool. All right, next. You don't have to just ask questions of me. You can ask questions of each other too.
What was Pan's greatest deed?
While you're answering that question, I'm gonna go and get a soda. So I'll still do.
You baited me.
Is this a question for Pange or for everyone else to answer?
It's for Pange. The other opinions don't matter compared to Pange.
His greatest deed, not necessarily a good one, but probably almost killing the entire party with a flame bolt.
Does he feel proud of that?
No, he doesn't. I believe after that he swore never to listen to what Nizak said again. Because Nizak's wisdom was not a lot higher than Panjandrum's from what I recall. And mine was practically through the floor. Hey, I don't know if there was something that stood out. Well, when he went through the obstacle course and absolutely completely cheesed it. That was pretty good. Because he just ran on the ceiling and ignored all the obstacles.
I got one for Livesey. What was your favorite bit of Corinthian lore that you learned since you came into this knowing nothing about it?
He's muted now.
Oh yeah, name's Livesey. Yeah, I really liked Balizar.
Sorry, I was getting pizza, but
Oh shit.
Tao, that was a fantastic attempt at an Australian accent. I definitely heard worse. That's not me being that's not me being mean or kidding either. That was actually pretty fucking good.
Hell yeah.
Fuck. A favorite bit of Corinthian lore that I learned, knowing absolutely nothing. I think learning like Dumas, or however his name is pronounced.
That asshole.
Yeah, and just learning all the lore behind him, and the fact that he turned around to be this, I'm sad now because I didn't get to do the thing that I needed to do, or whatever it was. And then learning about his deeds of like, no, he's considered either an absolute horrible leader, or a great warrior by his troops. Like there was like just being polar opposites of each other of that opinion. I think that had to be my favorite part, to be honest.
The dichotomy of what people think of you.
Think of this character that Chef has clearly got enough background information, like, that guy's a dick.
Right.
And then just seeing how the actual lore is played out between, the different NPCs and like the player perspective. So you got that triangle of, I guess, of perspective and opinion.
Indubitably.
Dibs-a-bub-da-boop.
While you guys are polling each other, I'm gonna scroll up to see if I can find some questions from chat. So, hold on a moment. You guys can keep going. Or, don't. Okay, so this is a quintessential question from this person. I'm only going to ask it and then immediately move on and ask another question instead.
Oh yeah.
But I'm going to acknowledge it. Did anyone, meaning character, have any crushes on other party members? Moving on. Is Joriel going...
Yes, I had a crush on Brian.
Oh, you had a crush on Brian. Okay.
The player.
The player. Gotcha.
I had a crush on Nizak's armor.
Okay. Okay. Is Joriel going to try to make it hurt all the way on the way down? That's what the question is. Is Joriel going to try to make it hurt on the way down?
I mean, well, if we're going through the poison metaphor, you typically want poisons to be more slow acting so that, or well, not to have any immediate symptoms so that they don't know that they're in danger.
So the answer is no. What was Pange's favorite spell?
I think that
Not
apparent to
fireball.
everybody, Fireball.
Okay.
I was just waiting to get that spell.
I remember you saying that to me after the session you leveled up and got it. You're like, this changes everything. I'm like, I'm sure it does.
Yeah.
I'm sure it does.
Yeah, I think that may have been the only spell I used after I got it.
Honestly, I think so. You waited for reasons to use Fireball was what happened a lot of the time.
Yeah, I didn't ask how big the room is.
Nope. Didn't ask if your allies were in the radius.
This was not a two. This was a to whom it may concern. It was like
Yeah.
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 Question, I guess this one's for me. Any backup plans for Tall? You're not allowed to know. Next one was, how old is Morrigan exactly? So, Keeve, if you're here still. Eva. Okay, we'll come back to her. She might be dealing with baby aggro. Let's see. Did Balazar have any secrets?
Okay, what kind of secrets though? There are a lot of secrets.
I don't know. That's the whole question. Did Balazar have any secrets?
It's okay. Okay, yeah, but like there is like it's let me think about this. The darkest secret. I added dark just for whatever. Not really.
Okay.
I made Balazar in the sense that like whatever I had planned for him on character creation, or that I would just improv.
Yeah.
Was like it's like you can see a giant vault door, but it's not locked. You just gotta be the first person to realize that like it's unlocked and you can just enter. And no one did, which is the mistake that everyone does.
All right. What were some of everyone's favorite moments from the campaign? This is kind of a broad one, so we can go around the room and just pick favorite moments. So let's start with Livesey. What was one of your favorite moments from the campaign?
I think my most favorite one had to have been convincing Pange via rolls to throw a fireball into a room filled with gasoline.
Well, this is going to come up a lot, I think. Okay.
Yeah, and I love the fact that it absolutely Kiva was not happy. She was not a happy chappy about it.
That's the best part.
She was not happy with you guys. No. Let's see. Tal, what was one of your favorite moments from the campaign?
I just like honestly, it's just simply just having all these NPCs being forced to have me try to improvise a character that is not fully aware of their scope and skills and ability ceilings, and they're forced to hear me just come up with these dumbass ideas.
Okay. Chef, what's one of your favorite moments from it?
Doing medical checks to figure out that Panjandrum can have kids.
Ah, yeah. Great.
Balls fun.
Brian, what was one of your favorite moments from the campaign?
Honestly, I think my favorite was the relationship between Morgan and Panjandrum.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
That was wholesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a cross between parent-child and writer mount.
Yeah. Lee, what was one of your favorite moments from the game?
I actually really, even though we didn't technically succeed completely, I really enjoyed the Goopy Man Angel boss fight.
Goopy Man.
Zor? Yeah, that was
Zor.
a lot. There was a lot going on there. And Kiva, if you're back, what was one of your favorite moments from the campaign? She's still muted. We'll have to come back to her, I suppose.
I'm not gonna do an impression of her.
Yeah.
I don't dare.
You don't dare. Okay. Who was everyone's favorite player character or NPC that isn't them? So, anyone?
I mean, gotta give it to my man Belkarog.
Yeah.
Always Belkarog. Like Morris. Morris was there for nostalgia, sure, but Belkarog, true.
Okay. Anyone else have any differing opinion, or is it Belkarog #1 all the way?
No, Pange. 100% Pange. Pange had to have been... So, and I'll give a quick reasoning why. So, it was going to be one of two ways this campaign was going to go. It was either going to be Lee holding us by the hand and another character, and like trying to keep the party in check, or it was going to be me and another character. Basically, either one of us was going to play mum or dad, along with another player, and I'm very, very glad that Pange and I turned out to be the menace children. And that's why I loved Pange as a character so very much, is because I had no influence, and he was still just a fucking menace, and I loved it.
Nice.
But I was going to say, Nizak was my favorite for that specific reason as well, because they were just like, they really needed adult supervision. For NPCs, probably. Again, I agree, Belkarog. If you ever run a game with Belkarog and that one talking crab in it, I will be there.
I forgot about the talking crab.
I will be there in a second. Yeah. Oh god, I love both of them. It was in Heroes of... it was the Greek campaign.
It was in Theros. Yeah, Theros.
There was this talking crab in the underworld, and like that was the best voice CJ has ever done.
Forgot that we had a crab.
I forgot about him. All right. Let's see. Lee already answered. Chef, who's your favorite NPC or NPC? Clive. Hey, you guys want to buy some stuff? You guys want to buy some cigarettes?
Can I have some fucking beer, please, after this? How about some mead?
Belkarog was great and super friendly, but I had set up Rotak to honestly interact with Clive more and more because he kept making art at different times with the express purpose of going to sell it to Clive, because
Yeah.
Clive wanted nothing more than to collect art. But I had clocked that the whole reason he's not allowed to own any of the art is because, hey, that's the whole goddamn point of the castle, is to teach us things. But Rotak's an idiot, so I can't have him admire art he'll not know anything about. But so his whole thing was just making art. That's why he made the dragon skull mosaic. That's why he made a sculpture out of candle wax. I've got so many things in my inventory that I scavenged together and then turned into art so that I could give them to Clive to have this bonding friendship between Contract Imp, who is just wanting pretty things, and the weird lizard who learned society solely to make art to give to the imp.
That's good. Let's swing back to Kiva because she's back. Kiva, lightning round, real quick. How old is Morrigan?
Super old.
Super old. They asked exactly, but I don't think either of us know exactly. So that's the answer, super old. And what was one of your favorite moments from the campaign?
Recently, I really like scenes where there's a lot of ways to maneuver through a battlefield. So like during the part where there was that long bridge with skeletons on either side of the rivers, it was really fun to just, as a Kalkanite, because I haven't really played that sort of style before. I've also have played quite a bit of D&D games as a whole. It's just this one has been my first one in quite a while, and I am green-eared new on anything that is to be as a lot. So my ignorance is not arrogance. I'm stumbling around in the dark here, but I'm having fun.
That's great. And do you have a favorite other player character or NPC that isn't Morrigan?
I did like Clive. We just talked about him.
Yeah.
That sort of it was just fun banter too. Just being able to unwind a little bit was quite interesting. But honestly, if I could pick another thing that I really liked was that, Angel fight of being almost suspended, losing standing ground. And that fight was pretty fun. I keep thinking about that encounter often. But just that sort of dynamic. I don't have a real favorite individual, but I like the concepts of the sort of connections between the mistress of the castle and everyone else that's in it. There's a lot of intertwined dialogue and things that, due to my unique character's position of being just sheltered from the world, my lack of knowledge may have been a blessing, because I didn't know who the guy in the suit was. That I forgot his name. I'm really bad with names.
You're talking about Duma. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't know who he was, what he did, but everyone else did, apparently. My memory's a little fuzzy.
Just Chef did.
Only me.
But everyone else was willing to walk off, and I was like, wait a minute. So just trying to keep in mind that each character that we interact with in the world will have a cascading effect that would give you better advantages later down the line, I think.
Okay. Let's see here. What was the DM's favorite? Oh wait, did anyone not say who their favorite other player character or NPC was? I want to make sure I got everybody. Did I get everybody?
That's the green light, I guess.
Okay, sounds like I got everybody. What was the DM's favorite trap? My favorite trap to like design were those 4 corner traps. When you guys came downstairs at the courtyard, it featured barrels of fun. The one with the stabby up the butt, the big fans, and the lasers. Those were the ones that like I had a lot of fun putting together. There were a couple of ones that like the one with the trees and the fountain. Those 2 were also great. Kind of putting together, but I really liked the fan blade one. Was a lot of fun for me because it was like, this is diabolical. Hee 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 hee. I wonder how they're gonna get through this. Hee 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 hee. So yeah.
Except for that was not the worst room.
No, that wasn't the worst room.
But yet it was solved like the other room with a fireball.
Yes, it was.
Stop it!
Solved.
No!
It was solved with
I'm so
explosives.
mad.
Fireball!
Question from chat specifically for Livesy.
Oh, here we go.
How does your character really feel about Balazar?
Unfortunately,
You kept making the joke. Somebody is gonna force you to confront it.
yeah. So, I think the better way to phrase that is, how do I feel about Tao in general? And I like Tao. Tao is a good person. Tao is a good player. Nizak doesn't like
guy.
Nizak doesn't like Balazar for 2 reasons. One, he's a human, and Drow just have this really, from what I read and what I understand, they don't really like humans, right? They see them as infantile for whatever other reason. The other one is Nizak is irked by Balazar's confidence, especially in the way that he would talk to Morrigan. Sorry, or Morgan. Because of, like, at that point, I had learned the culture of the Dark Elves, and ladies in his culture are revered. They're on a much higher pedestal. They are to be revered. They have higher standings than men do. So that overall confidence with Balazar talking to Morrigan that way, he didn't like that at all. He felt like that smacked of a lot of disrespect, considering he had kind of just met the party. So given a chance, if the campaign went on long enough, Nizak might have liked Balazar, but at that point in time, he was ready to kill him at a moment's notice.
Yeah.
Like, if Morrigan had turned around and gone, yeah, no, the disrespect needs to stop. And if Balazar had gone, will I do what I want, Nizak was probably just going to crush his head with his hammer and be done with it.
Damn.
To be honest with you. Yeah, and because of that respect thing from his culture, where it's like, no, you do not disrespect these people. These people are in a higher position than you as a man, so show respect where it's due.
So you're the Dark Elf Paladin, right?
Yeah.
I would have loved. Can I hire him for Vi?
No, they live in different periods.
It's like, I want to...
Well, I could always get a paladin, right? Doesn't have to.
You can't just go to the store and get a paladin, Kiva.
I mean, the second richest person in my town. I can definitely.
I mean, that's not true. Like, from what I understand, when Drow are born, it's kind of like, yeah, that's going to be my honor guard. Train him up. So, I mean, she could do that.
Yeah.
The males were treated as a commodity, like
commodities. Yes.
Purchased.
We'll get to that with your next endeavor for Vi, Kiva. That's outside the scope of this conversation.
It's like
I just need a paladin, so
okay.
Okay, extremely stupid joke, but like, just it's the way Livesy kept putting emphasis. It's just, imagine like the spooky patrol just on the background during important events. It's just Nizak, where it's like undercover with a fishing cap and a shirt that says a woman is stalking, and I'm listening.
Yeah, see, I had to make it very, very specific that was the
Oh my
reason
God.
why.
Do you
why
remember when I
Nightjack-
charged at you as a werewolf?
Yeah. Right.
How many bricks did you drop?
It's a lot of bricks. It had to have been a lot of bricks. Just like a full bag.
A whole ass bag.
Let's skip a little forward so that another chatter's questions get answered. This one's to the players as well. Did your concept for your character evolve or change in unexpected ways, or if so, how? So we'll round robin this one too. Let's start with Lee. Go ahead.
Yes, and I think I didn't expect Joriel to end up as disillusioned and nihilistic as he did, but just the information kept getting revealed, and you're like, oh, we're ants. I need to start biting inner thighs.
What's that terminology supposed to mean?
That's
Ants
what
tend to
the
do
most
that.
painful place an ant can bite.
Oh no! Have you
Well,
you know those
The most painful
those
place
gloves?
that ants can bite that is gender non-specific.
Like stick your hand in the glove, right, and it has fire ants in it. Tell me how you feel after that.
Feel great.
I mean,
Thanks,
yeah,
Lasky.
but if they bite the inner thigh, it'll be worse.
Yeah, I guess.
And that's the big surprise. CJ, bring the ants.
No. No. Puts the box of ants down. No, there's no ants here. There's no ants.
Wait,
no ants to see.
Azu,
Yes.
I'm a druid.
Yes, you are.
No.
I can summon ants.
You could
Oh, I
summon.
thought you were gonna say I'm gonna be the ant.
You could summon ants.
I become a swarm of ants.
Stay the fuck away from my thighs. Get out of it.
Let's go with Brian. Did Panch evolve or change in unexpected ways over the course of the campaign?
Yes. Originally, he was a little more, I guess, streetwise and more like hardened military in a weird way. Because
Ooh.
even though he wasn't used as the weapon he was supposed to be, he was like raised in the military.
Yeah.
And I ended up making him very childlike and simple, not because not stupid, but he was definitely very childlike. And I actually really enjoyed him like that.
Yeah. You seem to be having a lot of fun with him, so.
I love him. He's amazing.
Yeah. We have to put him on the shelf and like use him for some other stuff.
That'd be great.
Yeah. Kiva, did Morgan evolve or change in unexpected ways over the course of the campaign?
I mean, not necessarily. I mean, she is a much older woman who, she passed when she was in her twilight years, so she lived a long life, set in her ways. But there were some times where her morals and general knowledge of the universe as a whole really, ties me back to my original idea for Morgan, is that she lived her entire life studying the stars as a druid of the stars, and she had this omen, this prophecy that she could swear that existed somewhere, and she just needed to figure it out and find it out. And finally coming into the full scope of how important all of it is, it kind of, I want to say, put a little fire out under her butt a little. Like, it solidified her ideals and, of the people that she's come to know and the communities that she was a part of, involving that. And I really could just think that it kind of just came together at that point.
Chef, did Rotak grow and evolve in unexpected ways over the campaign?
Sort of. I think for mine it was more of I had a hope I could develop him in an interesting, unexpected way, and it only kind of half went that path. Rotak's a phantom rogue, and so the moment he got that class, the dude's technically talking to ghosts every single day, and they're in a campaign where they're dead and they're in the afterlife. So the fact that he's talking to random ghosts could have it sounded great, but there just wasn't an opportunity to bring it in much. His abilities theoretically would have been more interesting had he gotten to higher levels, but we just weren't. It wasn't really a thing to get there. We took long enough to get to where we are. So no, not really.
Yeah.
It was the possibility was there. It just couldn't really come up much.
Something to be said for amount of space in a given time frame and scope and necessity, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, it was the thing. If I wanted to find a way to tie him into Scaldi don't have this presence in the afterlife because it's not a thing for them really, but he's trying to figure it out, and well, the god of death has introduced him, and suddenly, like a few sessions later, this dude's talking to ghosts. Maybe it's a way to unify death into Scaldi, I don't know, but it just, yeah, there was so much else going on that Rotek maintained pretty much who he was of, holy shit, what is stonework, what is a torch, what is all this stuff you've got all the way through the end.
Yeah.
What is this? What is this?
Tao, I know Balazar wasn't here for very long, but question? Being
Close his book, look at you. I didn't see you. Well,
Jesus.
asking about Balazar.
Yeah, did he change or grow in an unexpected way?
Yeah, I am at my library. I'm very fanciful. I'm only wearing velvet. Anyway, the idea of Balazar was just the simple one, which is like we need something simple to get in here. So the Happy Fool is one of my favorite archetypes to embody in a campaign where I don't have any idea. Because it always works, and I like it because what happens is that if you commit to it, it doesn't matter if the campaign is dark or if it's light, you commit to the Happy Idiot, and what you're gonna get, it's either unstoppable train that's going to derail spectacularly and comedically, or you're just gonna have like the most hopeful character just punching Satan in the face. There's no in between, but you gotta commit. And I really don't know, because this was a short campaign. But Balazar evolved in the sense that there was so much bleakness to his scenario, and what I did is just I kept doubling down on him believing everything would work out if people just remembered the simple things in life.
Yeah.
And I believe that he got a nice number of enemies in people that would probably not admit it, but they maybe respect his optimism. Maybe. But yeah, he's not really he evolved, but maybe what evolved was just me doubling down on people as everyone had a moment to try to go to Balazar and is like, you realize shit's fucked, yeah? It's like, no.
No. Prove it.
No.
Moon's not
Hope
real.
Core.
Moon's not real. Prove it.
Hope Maxing. Logged you.
Livesey, is there any way, did Nizek change in unexpected ways or evolve in unexpected ways over the course of the campaign for you?
I wouldn't say he changed in an unexpected way. But he definitely did change. So what I'm referring to is, being a hardliner for his culture and his society. and then trying to get along with, at start, Lee's character, Jor-El, because, closest thing that he's got to kinship here is, outside of the lady of the house, is Lee. Because he's an elf,
Right.
or a half-elf, or, there's a cultural resemblance that he could possibly lean on if need be. And then eventually trying to gain that understanding with Panjandrum and Chef, because he's like, well, these two beings aren't humans, so it's a better chance of me getting along with these two beings. And then eventually Morrigan. And then growing a great respect for Morrigan and kind of seeing her as what's the term I want to look for? Like charge, I guess. Like if he's going to protect anyone of the party, it's going to be her because, even though she may be a human or a Corinthian, she should still be respected because of her gender, because that's how it works.
Simp.
The lady.
Yeah, tips for Dora, my lady.
No.
Yeah, how do we all feel now? Yeah, how we all feel.
Side note, not a Corinthian.
Oh.
Yeah, I did call Morrigan a what was it, the equivalent to a lycanthrope at one point.
Yeah, that's a little
Sensitive?
that's a little problematic. We're gonna not
We're not gonna do that. Yeah,
we're not doing that here. Hey, buddy, we don't do that here.
You don't do that here. I do that here.
All right.
I have no affiliation with Lipsy.
We got one last
Yeah,
question.
look at it.
Go ahead.
No, that's it.
Okay.
Okay.
More bits. All right. We got one last question from the peanut gallery that I want to do, and then we'll go back to you guys and any questions you have for each other and myself. Last one being, if the campaign ever got turned into a movie/show, what actor would play your character? And I think this is like a sort of a, if you had to imagine your character in like real life, who do you interpose over your character's face, sort of deal. If anybody,
Sigourney Weaver.
okay, right out with it then.
I have love for her.
It doesn't really matter because Balazar is always wearing a helmet, but I want him to be a very motivated
Oh my God, you're a bucket head.
like Ryan Gosling.
Just Ryan Gosling under there. Gotcha.
Mhm.
Okay. Anyone else do that, or just these two?
Voiced by Alan Tudyk.
Okay, Rotak voiced by Alan Tudyk. Gotcha.
I want Nizac's armor to be Stevie Buscemi.
Oh no!
No, you don't get that choice. You don't get that
I
choice.
don't understand the joke, please.
So
no joke, it's just
I would like
funny.
to see. I'd like to see Nizak played by Danny DeVito, but the
No!
armor played,
No, you cannot double-
but the armor played by John Berthnow.
Oh, that's interesting. That's a combo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just Nizak with the yee ass haircut.
The guy.
And a young Danny DeVito too, not in his current age.
God. I just
If it
see
had
you with
any
a
age,
mullet.
it'd be-
Did he have a mullet?
I don't know if it helps or makes sense, but for some reason, ever since I read Duma in the original forums for Cruent, I always imagined him voice acted by Robert De Niro.
See, I was thinking of that, but John Berthnow does a fantastic, like, angry man voice. Like, he's fantastic at it. But honestly, like, to pick an actual, it'd probably be, what's his name?
Let me tell you something, Nizak.
McCulkin. What's his first name?
Macaulay.
Macaulay Culkin from Home Alone.
Yeah,
Kieran.
yes,
Oh
yeah, 100%. His current state now, being a shorter man, a little bit skinny,
A short
and the armor being
man.
voiced by John Berthnow, I think that'd be a great mix.
So we got Macaulay Culkin in the armor, respecting women, and John Berthnow asking him why he isn't committing random acts of violence.
It's just violence, yeah. And egging him on when he does commit random acts of violence.
Yeah.
You're ruining Nizak so much for me right now.
Good. Good. Nizak shouldn't be a character that you look at and go, I like this character. Absolutely fucking not.
But at least
I
maybe
didn't
like,
have
oh, he looks
hers.
like a warrior or something. No, he also doesn't look like that.
No, he's only 5'7".
I have a personal question for Isaac. What was the turning point that has compelled Isaac to have more respect for Morgan and for his other group members?
I feel it was at the point where I feel like when you entered, for you specifically, it was you entered your werewolf form and you were just like, this is the great Panjandrum, he is mine, you heard him and I kill you. Was the turning point for Nizak. I was like, okay, this is actually someone to be respected. Rather than just being like, oh, I have to deal with this person. Like, really?
Nice.
Yeah. And it's Joriel earned it really quickly on, like I said, because of the whole elf thing, but he was also like, yeah, I'm gonna just fucking kill people. And when it came to like Rotax, like Rotax just doing whatever he does, and I respect the agency of the creature.
You see Fangs just snarling, like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Got it. Receive the feedback, miss. Got it.
Yeah. Look, I understand where you're coming from, but you can only kill me once, so I don't know what you want from me here.
Brian, did you have an idea of like who would voice Pange? Like,
Yeah, I mean, obviously he'd be CGI, but
right.
I think maybe Sam Riegel.
Okay.
He could do that kind of like childish lizard voice.
Yeah. He could do a good one of those. Cool.
We could do the opposite. How about Antonio Banderas?
That'd be funny. Yeah.
That'd be hilarious.
I mean, who voiced Iago? Gilbert Godfrey.
Yeah, Gilbert.
His name? Yeah. Godfrey something.
Gilbert Godfrey. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You fool! I keep thinking of his
You fool!
his Hollywood Squares appearance was just you fool the whole time.
Oh, I was thinking of the audiobook that he wrote. That he voiced for 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh, that'd be really funny. I haven't heard that. Lee.
You should.
Lee.
I think I'll go with a classic elf casting, Lee Pace.
Lee Pace. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a Google search. I don't know that person.
You'll have to
He
Google him.
played Thranduil in the Hobbit movies.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh,
I see now.
Yeah. You got there.
Big ass eyebrows.
Listen, eyebrows on fleek for the elves, right? So, okay, let's go back to you guys. Questions, discussion, etc. Whatever you guys want to talk about with the game, and with what you guys, the subject of the matter at the Door of Eternity, subject at hand.
I've got something. I think it's really weird how a lot of the group circled around Panjandrum. Like, I had no intention of that, but like Rotax saw him as a baby lizard, like a baby. What is he? A Scaldy?
Yeah.
Oh, not so much
And
baby.
then-
He called him Little Lizard just for the fact of he was lizard, or he was just small. But he saw Panjandrum essentially as the same as a full Scaldy. Like, he called you Lizard solely because, yes, I see you as one of me.
And like Nizak was his partner in crime.
Right.
And for Morgan, it was like, oh, here's a child I need to take care of.
Yeah. More of like a very cursed cross between like endearment for like a really smart dog that are like a sentient lizard that I just can like scoop up like a toddler that can throw fireballs while looking completely derpy, and it just felt like it was small, and I just felt compelled as like a matron of Morgan had a huge, closely knit family unit. Like she had many daughters and sons. She had a lot of sisters and brothers, uncles, nephews. Like it was a large community and closely knit. Everybody knew everybody, and she lived a full life. And so having those same instincts, even if it was for something that's not of her kind, like her personal beliefs went beyond that. She didn't she's not like she wasn't wasn't new to the world because she just didn't care about other people, regardless of if they were elf or whatever.
There seems to be some level of mystery then for you, Brian, about like what Pange was to Joriel then, because like you mentioned everybody else by name except for Balazar, but Balazar's a late addition.
Right, they did not interact a lot.
No.
You know,
Joriel was dealing with their own child trauma, but I suppose in the opposite way, where they saw Pange as this sort of like childlike figure that needed protecting and was like, I'm not doing that shit again.
Not my job.
You're on your own, kid.
Right.
Although, now that you mentioned Balazar, I have a question that's been burning in my head. Why did he not know about Daglings?
Well, this is a me question. So, Daglings are not always a thing that happens.
Ah.
Very specific stuff needs to happen for them to happen. So that happened recently because in this, this kind of iteration, we'll call it, this playthrough, quote marks, because...
He played before the expansion.
Right. Because you guys being the player base, right, managed to unlock Daglings as player characters. Mainly this occurred because of two factors. Prison of Al-Hadun was partially successful, and the second thing was that in the Heart of Rage, their optional combat encounter that they earned happened, and they managed to save a couple of eggs. So Daglings were actually going to be put off even further. More of a chapter 2 thing, and maybe only a chapter 3 and on thing, depending on how things went. In the Heart of Rage happened, like, Pange was going to be the only one for a while, because technically you guys could make them. Like, I had all the stuff ready for it, and you guys had earned it through doing the Prison of Al-Hadun, at least getting it to partially complete. And I had come to the decision that, like, yeah, Daglings could be a thing, but definitely not until later, unless in the Heart of Rage manages to pull it out of their hat in that combat encounter, and they kind of did. They saved a couple of eggs, but the laboratory more or less got fucking destroyed. So that would allow like characters like Cinder and Baptized in Blood to happen much earlier than I was originally planning to. So Chapter 3, Chapter 4 was when Daglings were going to be more... people were going to be more able to play those, but it worked out. As for why Balazar didn't know he existed, it was, iterative. Balazar was from a prior iteration, so...
Different turn of the wheel.
Yeah. Put it that way, yeah.
Doc, can you imagine your grandfather going to like a veteran meeting for World War II, sitting down and then looking to the side and seeing like Donald Duck?
And then all the other veterans in the room vouching for Donald Duck? Yeah.
Yeah,
He's got a rank. He has an official rank in the U.S. military.
He does!
He certainly
does! That's the thing!
Donald Duck is a war hero. Okay. Any additional questions so far? For each other, for me.
Solely for my own curiosity, because this won't matter to anyone else. Were there any other things you put in this campaign for me to recognize outside of Tyr?
Not specifically, no.
Cool.
Yeah, that was just for you. There were a couple, like, I was putting the finishing touches on the campaign when I was figuring out who was playing. When you guys were making characters and such. This was all written a while ago. This campaign's gone on for a while, but yeah, that was it. I think there were there's been a bunch of references, but specifically for you, just here.
We got a question. I don't know if you can answer this one.
Sure.
Timeline-wise, is Door of Eternity set before or after In the Heart of Rage and the others?
It is before. So this is a prelude.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, because the most easy proof is Panjandrum goes to the Maestrorage Duchy and puts a rat bone in Nin's cell, right? And that enables that party to escape. Joriel goes to the Manipul barony or county and with Illyria and rescues Dominic Manipul, right? That's another thing that happens. Morrigan and Illyria help what's his name? And Agnar and Renault learn magic in the Darthak region before they come to Sorath, right? That's a Blaze of Cruelty thing. D and Apostate's characters in the Heart of Rage survive the battle and manage to escape Tal's legions over there because Nizak and Balazar provide enough distraction and buy enough time fighting them so that those two could escape, right? That doesn't mean that Balazar and Nizak are destroyed at that juncture. They are not living to start with, so that's kind of difficult. But that's what they go and do, right? So a lot of the things that kind of corrected for narrative things that would have happened were caused by, just for shorthand, the Fire Team Spooky, right? Just to kind of like, to bring it back to Kingdom of Darkness, Nin and company had failed to escape multiple checks. And I had written into the narrative already that if they fail all the checks, right, there will be a rat bone that will appear in her cell that she will find like a day or so later or whatever the narrative was. That's what I had written in there, knowing that Door of Eternity was going to technically end before their campaign even began. And so I had to kind of like write in hoping that you guys would at least succeed enough to like not be totally destroyed here in Door of Eternity. So I did make a narrative gamble on that stuff, but it worked out. So but yes, it is a prelude, and it is evidenced by the stuff that did actually occur, even though chronologically they happened before you guys finished. You guys were supposed to be done before Chapter 2 started, though. So.
Indeed.
You shove the responsibility into people that were to do things that would put those plot points in motion.
Yes. Enough stuff had to go wrong that I had to acquire missions for each of you, right? And enough stuff inevitably went wrong for me to acquire missions for each of you. Oh, Jeff's character Rotak helped pave the way for Scaldi to join ahead of time, because they don't join until like chapter 3 period, like 1052, 1054, somewhere in that neighborhood. But they joined early because the prologue campaign that opened them up was successful, and so like I needed something for Rotak to be doing, and that made the most sense narratively. It was just like he would be the best one to convince them ahead of time that they needed to help.
But is Rotak doing this with the party from, or that did that, or are they doing it early? Thus,
they would go
like
beforehand.
I wonder what. Oh, well, then what about the party members that became nobles from that mission?
So,
Rip them.
So no, to kind of like finish out the thought there for you. The Shadowclaw Confederacy was unsure if these people were going to be worthy, and so they had to be tested. So Rotak did pave the way for the conversation to happen and be open and honest, rather than based on like, oh, we've been at odds for centuries, for as long as we've been sharing the same space. Why would we ever trust you? Blah 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 blah. And trying to overcome that conversation, right? Rather than it being that, I believe, if I recall, they got there and the Scaldi were like, all right, let's test your mettle, let's see if you're worthy, and then they had.
We fought a dinosaur.
Yeah, and then you fought your dinosaur, right? You guys managed to get through that. And then it was like, yep, deal's made. Seemed rather easy. So Rotak had a hand in like prepping the way for it, but you guys did still have to prove yourselves. So it was earned still.
We threw a bottle of magic smoke inside the dinosaur. It was like, you want your pet alive?
Yeah.
Please stop hitting us.
Please stop attacking us. He's big and he's chompy.
It really was.
That was a good question, though. I forgot who asked it. I think it was.
I have a question.
The order of events is me.
Yeah. What was your question, Todd?
I'm not saying it would happen, but let's say hypothetically, out of every person you DM'd in this like new chapter of like Corinth coming to be streamed and your campaigns and all that, if it were to happen, who would be the PC, the play character, most likely to be the first to be assassinated by Alpha Team Spooky?
The first player character that would get assassinated?
Is there somebody that like most parties did nice marks in the world, but some people did some weird stuff, or maybe you could argue were like negatives. I'm not saying it would be obvious. It's like to the viewer, it would be obvious for you to DM. And with that in mind, is there somebody that would like randomly during the night get like a bag shoved onto their head and like shoved into a dark alley?
So who's getting disappeared to a Fire Team Spooky black site in okay. So the first person that leaps to my mind is Mordecai from In the Heart of Rage.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Yeah, that's got to be the guy, right? Because so Darrow Doris plays this character, and you can go back and you can watch In the Heart of Rage just to see how that goes. Great player, wonderful guy. His character let a greater demon of Ahil out into the world.
Oh no!
Because he thought throwing it into the magma would destroy it, after it had spent almost the entire campaign gaslighting him and Stockholming him. So he definitely needed a undoing at some point, but it didn't happen during the campaign.
Did the magma just end up destroying the containment thing?
Yeah, it just broke the containment field and
oh
yeah.
No.
So womp womp.
And this is why we put demons in space.
Right.
That's so unfortunate.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Yeah, I can't wait for the next leg of all these campaigns for a meteor to fall down from the sky to Earth, and nobody really knows why. It's gonna be great.
yeah.
Mhm.
What's this rock doing here? And a peasant picks it up and has a seizure.
Well, the thing is, if I mean, books are books, but even
happened
a
in
heavily
Brazil.
enchanted book to be resilient can't survive magma, then very few rocks, unless they're big enough, can survive entry into the atmosphere.
Yeah.
So we got to make sure it's like at a stable orbit or beyond that.
Right.
Oh, I was gonna say, so I shouldn't have gold plated it.
No.
Oh, because it looks kind of cool while it's gold plated. It'll be fine, right?
It's gaudy. Come
As
on.
long as the runes are made of like aerogel
Jesus.
or some other incredibly heat-resistant material. I guess we need to invent aerogel.
Ceramics.
Simply Lee influence makes so that spooky team gets a subdivision that becomes the Corinthian NASA.
I hope so.
Spectral
The
Realm
space
NASA.
program.
Spectral Realm Space Program. Yeah.
I mean, technically, we already have. There's the mansion, provided it still exists. Once the iterative process begins, we'll just have a portal to the moon on it. So we just need to launch from there, and it's way easier to launch stuff from the moon.
Oh yeah. Less gravity.
Crazy.
Crazy.
Though
Yeah.
I'm like the problem. Now I'm thinking about it. I'm like, okay, so actually, like, the thing is, when you get into like the momentums involved in space travel, tiny specks of dust can shred normal materials.
Yeah.
So we really like what we're built like in space. Just floating in space might not be even the safest option.
There's no there's no 100% safe option, right? So
Yeah.
But the idea is to delay the inevitable long enough to solve the true problem. So yeah.
Also, for those of you that know, the next campaign that I'm going to bring in, we're bringing in Theo 2.0. It'll be a blast.
EO 2.0 fun.
Yeah. You remember Theo, Lee?
Yeah, the one who loved the demonically possessed objects. I'm sure this will go great.
Yeah.
Well-
Try to grab a Xeothrope as a
As a little pet,
yeah. It'll be fine, guys. Don't worry about it.
just fucking so shorting him down a hallway while I watch. It was like the fucking Dr. Manhattan scene in like Watchmen. Just the
Speaking
leading
of-
Rorschach.
Speaking of which, is Lee still the holder of the most PvP kills in the server?
Yes.
Fantastic.
Well,
Adorable.
Yes.
you gotta do what you gotta do.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
What?
Sometimes you gotta
We-
gank a friend.
Would the Great Panjandrum have beat him if we hadn't survived?
It's like you don't. It's like you don't have. You don't have to be the most dangerous guy in prison, but you gotta make a first impression.
You've
right?
been in prison a lot, Tao?
Don't pretend like you know don't know my personal life, Mister.
I was gonna say he lives in Brazil. Of course, he's been in jail.
Aw.
Aw.
And it's not for the reason you think. It's for stealing Warhammer figurines.
They're so expensive.
Aw.
Yes, it would be. Pange would have more kills than Lee, I think. If Pange had managed to kill himself. Well, basically the whole party, right? Because that's what it was. It was basically the whole party. So yes, Pange would have gotten the most player-on-player kills if that had happened, and a well-earned party wipe.
Yeah. Throw a fireball on there. Why? Bro, trust me. Okay.
Chef, you wouldn't have heard it because CJ had literally just turned off the sound But after that happened, my comment was, go to another birthday party. I fucking dare you.
Yes, yeah. That
was the one I missed for that. Yeah,
Yeah, you did
I remember
miss that.
I remember coming back and being like, "What do you mean? There's a bunch of traps and no one thought to make the rogue go first?"
Yeah.
I mean, that's just what DMs do sometimes, and that's how just players react.
Listen, we had a schedule to keep, and then we stopped keeping the schedule, and then a year later, I come around to, we gotta keep this schedule, man. We can't keep doing this. We've gotten nowhere. So
Fine, I wouldn't worry about it.
it's fine. Well, we finally finished it, so. All right. We don't.
Thanks. I have one more question for you before we're done for the day.
Sure.
Because you've given me this insight, I want you to give it to everybody else.
Okay.
Because we missed so many sessions, what was the actual time frame you were expecting this game to go for, like a year or whatever? And then how long did this game actually go for?
So, I expected this game to last anywhere between 25 and 30 sessions. And on a once every 2 week schedule, that would be about a little over a year, right? We started this game. Doody 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 doo. Boop boop boo. Scrolling up.
October of 2023.
Yeah, something like that. Something like that.
Don't ask me why I remember that.
Well, you know, we know why you remember that. It definitely. Yeah, like summer 2024 or something. It was a while ago. It was definitely a while ago. Definitely a while. Do I have any pinned messages in this chat? No, not any that are. Let me see here. Yep, May 2024. I put our first message in our chat, and I pinned our message in our chat. We were doing character creation then. Session 0 was scheduled. So yeah, summer of 2024. So it is now, we're now approaching summer of 2026. So almost 2 years. That's out of a possible 52 weekends. You know, because 26 a year. We have successfully done like 20-something sessions. So we did about half of our sessions on time. Yeah. I'm sorry, guys. I did not mean to drag it out this long.
It's not your fault.
No.
Yeah, it's ours.
Yeah. But still, being the DM, I'm ultimately responsible for it. What were you going to say, Brian?
I think I know I missed one because I just completely forgot we were gaming.
It happens. It happens.
It is what it is.
See, I don't know how else to put this, but it's very difficult to run a session when, like, all of the players are missing half the time. So it's like, okay, this week I have these 3 players, right? And then this week I have these 4 players, but only one of them was at the last session. So one person knows what's going on. And then the next session I have 3 players, totally the same players as before. So there's continuity again. Great. And then the next session after that, 3 players show up, one of them knows what's going on, the other 2 have missed the last 2 sessions. It's very difficult to run a campaign that way. And so, you know, it makes sense to cancel the session if not everybody's going to be there. But at some point, it's like, all right, we haven't played for 2.5 months. What the fuck is going on, guys? You know? So.
Not to mention, none of us were good at writing recaps because I tried it one time.
You did.
I did this thing in my brain where I was like, yes, every time we go back to the solar, I'll have Rotak write a journal entry, you know, world building up. He's trying to learn to write. We never went back to the solar.
Yeah.
And you never learn how to write.
Yeah.
He wrote once.
So yeah, there was a lot. There's a lot that. Yeah, this thing. Anyway, I don't want to go too far into it, but thank you for the question, Livesey. I hope that answers it.
Oh, I already knew the answer. I just want everybody else to know the answer.
I know. But yes, it was very difficult keeping this thing on schedule, and here we are 2 years later. Definitely like 3/4 of a year over budget. So
Standard governmental funding. It's fine. Don't worry
Jesus
about
Christ, don't even get me started right now. All right. Any other final questions for your DM? Final burning questions.
it. When next game?
When next game? Well, for you, next game is going to be in a while because you're in the long road. But in the meantime, you've got Decade of Strife to look forward to as soon as I pull my head out of my ass and figure out what I'm doing. So,
Long road.
yeah. So the long road, you're going to be in there with Jeff, and then Brian's wife Cynthia is going to be in there.
Cool.
And Jordan and Raven will be in the game. I don't think you've played with those other three, but
No.
you know, these are
No, but I've chatted with Cynthia before.
yeah,
She's a good egg.
yeah, and these other two. Raven's been playing with me for play by post since at least like 2020 or something. Raven's been in a few games. They're good, good egg, and Jordan also good egg. So everybody who's going to be in your campaign, The Long Road, has been in at least one other campaign, if not like 3 or 4. So you'll be in good hands, Livesey. You'll be in good hands. All right, that's Livesey's last question. He's not allowed to ask me any more questions while we're on the air. Tao, do you have a final question for me?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, buddy, I'm glad you joined us. Chef, do you have a final question for me?
What was the deal with those trees that we watered and they came back to life?
So those could have gone badly. There's a trigger on that trap to have them come to life and attack you. So, but
you told me, right, what kind of trees were they? Because you told me once, like, if I could get a branch from them, it would be something special or something like that.
Yeah, so they were like haunted forest trees. They were all kind of like warped trees that had been taken and like infused with energy. So they're kind of sort of like Fey blights or that sort of thing. But they had been like worked over by the Forgotten instead. So.
Would there have been a way to, like, for a more druid / nature inclined person who dealt with it, would there have been a way to, like, befriend the trees?
Yeah, if you had speak with plants.
Fair enough.
Yeah. There's only so much communication you can do with a plant, so.
Unless you're a mushroom,
yeah.
You can do a lot more.
Yep. You're not. Okay.
I think that's the only question I got. But yeah, Livesey, when we hit Long Road, you'll get to see me play a competent character who will actually understand the world he's in.
And you'll get to watch me play a bumbling idiot, just like this time.
Brian, do you have a final question for your GM for this game?
I am mute.
You are not on mute, or you just were not on mute. You might be now. Yes, you're in mute now.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay. My thing still says unmute, so I don't know what its problem is. I might think of something later, but I don't think there's anything that I can think of right now.
Okay. If you got a question later, you can certainly ask, but this is for last questions on air. Lee, do you have a final question for me?
Not at the moment, but thank you
Okay.
so much for running.
Oh, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And Kiva can't hear us right now because she's deafened. So, yeah. I'll catch up with her. So I have a final question for you guys. It is the most important question. It is the most important question to any game that gets run, and it is, as you expect, did you have fun?
No.
God
Yes.
damn it!
I choked.
Too much pressure with that question.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Good. Glad you guys had
Yeah.
fun.
I think I would have had fun playing the Great Panjandrum in any campaign.
Honestly, that's half the battle, right? You know?
It makes
Yeah, and I'm very sad I can't use them in anything else.
it feels like you just said like your campaign was just background. The bench was the show.
The bench was the whole fun that we had the
The
entire
people come for
time.
the bench.
You know, people come for the pinch, people stay for the pinch. It is what it is, you know? Cool. Well, I'm glad you guys had fun. It was a rocky road. It was not ice cream.
What's you don't have that in Brazil.
I would say it wasn't too long of a road, but it did go for 2 years, even though I only meant to go for one.
What'd you say, Brad?
Tal said we don't have that in Brazil. And I was going to say, like, do you have anything good in Brazil?
Damn!
No ice cream, no Warhammer,
Dog,
no Rocky Road, I mean.
dog, I've been in a coma for 2 years after Prison of Al-Hadun. I don't know what the fuck, where am I?
Alright, well that's...
Wait. Tao, you haven't played since Prison of Al-Hadun?
Absolutely not.
Ah, samesies.
Why so
That-
cheerful?
I didn't even realize that. That's funny. The
weren't
last time
impressed.
both of us played was for Prison.
Prison.
It was certainly a traumatizing time.
Sorry. I didn't mean to make you quit the world.
No wonder neither of us came back.
Damn. All right. With that said, we're gonna end on a good note, which is we all had a great time. We hope for you to join us at our next endeavor. 2 games are still going on right now. That would be Kingdom of Darkness and Baptized in Blood, and stick with us to see how those end. We'll see you soon. Have a good evening. Be good, and honestly, just have some good vibes. You earned them. You've earned the good vibes. So
Remember, stay ungovernable.
that's right. Cox shotgun. Have a good night, everybody. Bye bye.
Bye, have a good time.